Bodhisattva Kasyapa further said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, the eternal body of the Tathagata is one carved in stone, as it were. The Buddha said to Kasyapa, O good man, for that reason, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, upasikas should all the more make effort and protect wonderful Dharma. The reward for protecting wonderful Dharma is extremely great and innumerable. O good man, because of this, those upasakas who protect Dharma should take the sword and staff and protects such a bhiksu who guards Dharma. Even though a person upholds the precepts, we cannot call that person one who upholds Mahayana, even though a person has not received the 5 precepts. If he protects wonderful Dharma, such as one can well be called one of Mahayana. A person who upholds the wonderful Dharma should take the sword and staff and guard bhikshus. Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, if all bhikshus are to be accompanied by such upasakas with the sword and staff, can we say that they are worthy of the name, or are they unworthy of such? Or is this upholding the precepts or not? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, do not say that such persons are those who transgress the precepts, O good man. After I have entered nirvana, the world will be evil-ridden and the land devastated, each pillaging the other, and the people will be driven by hunger. At such a time, because of hunger, men may make up their minds, abandon home, and enter the Sangha. Such persons are bogus priests. Such, on seeing those persons who are strict in their observance of the precepts, right in their deportment, and pure in their deeds, upholding wonderful Dharma, will drive such away, or kill them, or cause harm to them. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, O world-honored one, how can all such persons upholding the precepts and guarding wonderful Dharma get into villages and castle towns and teach? O good man, that is why I allow those who uphold the precepts to be accompanied by the white-clad people with the sword and staff. Although all kings, ministers, rich laymen, and upasakas may possess the sword and staff for protecting Dharma, I call this upholding the precepts. You may possess the sword and staff, but do not take life. If things are thus, we call this first-hand upholding of the precepts. Kasyapa said, anyone who protects Dharma abides in right view and widely expounds the Mahayana Sutras. He does not carry the bejeweled parasols of royal persons, oil pots, unpolished rice, or fruit and seeds. He does not approach a king, minister, or the rich for profit. He does not flatter the Dhanapatsis, and is perfect in deportment, and crushes down those who transgress against the precepts and who do evil. Such a person is called a teacher who upholds and protects Dharma. He is a true good leader of the way. His mind is as expansive as the sea, O Kasyapa. Should there be a bhiksu who speaks about Dharma for profit, the people and his relatives will also follow his example and greedily seek profit. This person thus spoils people. O Kasyapa, of priests there are 3 kinds. The precept-breaking, mixed-up priest, the ignorant priest, the pure priest. The precept-breaking, mixed-up priest can easily be broken, whereas the precept-observing priest cannot be broken just by profit. How is one... let's see. Guys, did you want to read it all, or I don't mind reading the whole time.
Yeah, we can go back and forth. That'd be good. Thank you. How is one a precept-breaking mixed-up priest? A bhiksu may be upholding the precepts, but for profit he sits, stands up, goes and comes with precept-breaking people, and is on friendly terms with them, and does things together with them. This is precept-breaking, hence mixed up.
Just so I can see, do you also see the WebEx boxes that are kind of in the middle of the page?
No.
Okay. Why do we call a priest ignorant? A bhiksu may be living in a quiet place, but all his sense organs are not proper. His mind is dark and slow at working. He desires little and begs alms. On the day of admonition and freedom, he does not teach pure confession to all the people. Seeing many people breaking the precepts, he does not teach them pure confession. Yet he sits with others, talks about the precepts, and seeks to be free. Such a one is an ignorant priest.
Who is the pure priest? There is a bhiksu, a priest whom 100,000 billion maras cannot break. Now this bodhisattva is pure in his nature and can train the two types of priests referred to above and make them live among those people who are pure. He is the unsurpassed great teacher who protects Dharma well, who well upholds the precept. He knows well what is light or grave in the keeping of the precepts and adjusts and benefits people. He does not know anything that is not upholding the precepts. What he knows is what concerns the precepts.
What does he do to adjust beings? For example, in order to adjust people, the bodhisattva always enters a village anytime and visits the places where widows and prostitutes live. He lives there for many years. This is what Shravakas cannot do. This is what is called adjusting and benefiting beings.
How does he know what is grave? Now, if one sees that the Tathagata admonishes and prohibits something, one should not do it thereafter. Things such as the four grave offenses are what the priest must not do. If contrary to this, he purposely does. This indicates that such a person is no longer a bhiksu, no son of the Shakya. This is what is grave.
What is light? A person commits light ill deeds and thrice admonished. Then he stops doing such again. This is light. We say non-vinaya, which is not proved. A person praises and says that one may receive and take impure things, and says that one accords with the word and one does not stop doing.
We say right vinaya, which is rightly responded. This is correctly learning the vinaya, not drawing near to what is contrary to the vinaya, and spiritually sharing pleasure. Thus, one ensures that the vinaya is observed. Thus, one well understands what one ought to do as a Buddhist, and one expounds it well. This is what the Vinaya refers to as well understanding of the letter, or of the one letter. The same applies to upholding the sutras. O good man, the Buddha Dharma is incalculable and hard to fathom. The same is also the case with the Tathagata. He is beyond knowing. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world honored one, it is so, it is so. It is as you, the Holy One, say, unbounded and incomprehensible is Buddha Dharma. Thus, to Tathagata, all stands beyond comprehension. So too the Tathagata. Thus I know now that the Tathagata is eternal and indestructible, and that there is no change with him. I shall now study well and expound it widely to people.
Yes, Keiko, your hand.
Can you say why it is that it cannot be known? That the Tathagata cannot be known? I mean, I already know, but which is contradictory, but
Yeah. Well, because if you know, if you have a knowing, now you're into the five aggregates, and you can't comprehend or see the Tathagata if any of the five aggregates are present. So the Tathagata is beyond all the five: form, feeling, perception, mental fabrication, and consciousness. And knowing the Tathagata would fall under consciousness. So you would not be in Supreme Bodhi, and you would not be able to perceive it, like, not even perceive. I mean, it's kind of like that saying of like, once you see it, that's not it anymore, because now you don't have Supreme Bodhi anymore, because now you're thinking about it. So there is no knowing the Tathagata. That's correct. Did you have this?
yeah.
Same.
Yeah, same understanding that it becomes tainted by our thinking. So if we think we see something that we can claim as the Tathagata from our own perspective of knowing, then we taint it. So therefore it cannot be it. So therefore when it says, just keep in mind that when it says it's beyond knowing, it's not because it has some kind of attribute that is supreme. I mean, other than calling it Supreme Bodhi, it is because that it exists outside of knowing.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, yeah. So it's interesting how our view of spiritual texts trains us to view things in terms of we call that a regal certain kind of fealty. But when the Buddha expounds that the Tathagata is beyond knowing, it is not about fealty. It's about practical application of that. Once you know it, it no longer can be it, because it defines it and it limits it. So therefore, the Supreme Bodhi itself is a testament to the existence of the Tathagata, because Supreme Bodhi is nothing. And
Yeah.
therefore it's a testimony that if nothing can exist, I mean, not that anything exists in terms of, saying that it is nothing, but if quiet mind, we'll say quiet mind or Supreme Bodhi can exist, then also there does the Tathagata exist. So it's interesting, because I just want to point out that statement in the sutra is not meant to be a honorific description of fealty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. And I think this probably is a good time to kind of touch on what do we know, or what have we learned about the Tathagata. So, like, in the Surangama Sutra, we learn what the Tathagata store is, and I think that's really helpful for helping people understand what we're talking about when we say Tathagata. So the Tathagata store is essentially being able to perceive, or being able to have sensory contact with objects, but not have the five aggregates arise. So not having the labeling arise, not having the perception arise. It's just being able to observe the world without like you were saying, tainting it with the arising of those thoughts.
Right, right. So there is contact, but thoughts are separate. So I can say, I've got a little pink strainer thing I put across my sink, and I'll refer to it as my sink strainer, pink sink strainer, right? If I have thoughts when I look at it, and I see it, when I look at it and I see it, if I start to think about it, then it is no longer in the Tathagata store, because it's tainted by my thoughts about what it is, or what color it is, what shape it is, or where it came from, what it's made of. And so this idea of that pure, bright existence being untainted by our thoughts is simply its own existence. So therefore, when I see that strainer, that pink strainer, right, and I have no thought, because I'm in Supreme Bodhi, I have no thought about it. I mean, even calling it a pink strainer, but I can see when my thought exists, and when my thought does not exist. And that is the difference. The Tathagata and the Tathagata store exist where there is no thought. Where there
Yeah.
is no thought. Yeah. Um,
So
so they exist. Sorry. Yeah, thank you.
yeah, it can be. That's a really good example. It can be really difficult to talk about it, because when we're talking about it, it's like we're kind of telling you what it's not. And so we kind of have to take this, and you kind of have to apply it in your own experience. Um, and just, I guess I encourage everybody to observe that, like, and in a way that's like, when you're meditating, when you're able to get to Supreme Bodhi, maybe notice if you're able to still have that sensory contact without those thoughts arising. And that's what it is.
And it's interesting because when we use the two object meditative effort, and we label one object a certain attribute, and then we label a second object a certain attribute, the existence of the object does not cease to exist. But our thoughts about it being balanced without a thought about it can only be obtained where you're noticing one thought decline and another thought arise. That's the only place it can be observed or experienced. So, with that in mind, the idea of this pink strainer existing in the Tathagata store, or existing in the Tathagata, which is pure and bright, is without me having any thought of it, without me having any thought, meaning being in Supreme Bodhi, which is the ability to be present with the object but have no thought about it at all. And yeah, it's interesting because it's not something that you can say, right? So if I say I don't have any thought about it, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at the actual experience of quieting the mind through noticing thought arise and noticing thought diminish. So that, my eyes can see it, but I don't think. I have no thought at all. And the only way you can do that is through observing thought arising and thought diminishing, and placing the mind in between. It cannot be found by saying, I observe my pink strainer, but I'm not thinking about it. That's not Supreme Bodhi. That's not it.
Yeah.
If you're saying you're not thinking about it, then you are thinking about it. So this idea of it being a experience of between a thought arising and thought diminishing is critical to this, because it has to be an experience. It can't be, as soon as you explain it isn't it. It's
Yeah.
not it. Anyway, that's my input. Thank you
The
so much.
the really
Yeah.
cool part is once you've experienced, like when I first experienced it, I started to notice how significant it was to not have the aggregates arise. It's like you're blind to how much static that you have constantly. Constantly labeling things was something I noticed. And when it gets quiet, it's kind of like those sensory deprivation rooms. Like, whoa, I didn't realize it was so freaking loud. And so it's
Right,
cool.
right.
I mean,
You have to, yeah, you have to have the mind state of Supreme Bodhi, which is in between thought arising and thought diminishing, in order to be present with the object without it being tainted by your thoughts.
yeah. I mean,
So that's the Tathagata. I mean, that's the Tathagata store,
yeah.
is allowing that object to exist in the place where there is no taint, where there is no thought about the object. But it can't, yeah, it can't come from the object. It has to come from the mind that is in between a thought arising and thought diminishing.
Mhm.
Yeah, in this moment in time, and that's it. And it's just people look at the object and say, well, okay, the object is my focus. No, it's not. It's your mind that's the
Yeah.
focus. Yeah, and it's very, very, very interesting. So I really hope that people understand how critical this is to mental well-being.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
yeah, super, super important. Anyway,
It's
that's my input. Yeah.
very straightforward, and it the biggest thing for me is like you're not just deferring your dependency. You're not deferring your dependency onto something else that's external. Anyway, I think we're getting a little off topic, so sorry about that.
Right, right. Well, I don't think we're getting off topic. I think the effort to make sure that people understand that the experience of quiet mind is separate from the object entirely. But the idea is that you're using the object to watch thought arise and watch thought diminish. But once you have balanced mind where there is no thought arising or diminishing, you're still present with the object, but you have no thought about the object. And that is the Tathagata. That is the Tathagata store. So that's what I'm trying to say. And so I don't think that this is off topic at all. I think this is fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just meant I think I keep going, and I think we've covered it. So I'll stop too. Thanks.
Then the Buddha praised Bodhisattva Kasyapa and said, well said, well said. The body of the Tathagata is adamantine and indestructible. You, Bodhisattva, now have the right view and right understanding. If you see clearly thus, you will see the adamantine and indestructible body of the Tathagata, just as you see things reflected in a mirror. Oh. Oh. Chapter 6.
Then the Tathagata spoke again to Kasyapa. O good man, you should now uphold all the words, chapters, clauses, and all the virtues thereof of this sutra. Any good man or woman who hears the name of this sutra will never get born into the four realms. Why not? I shall expound to you all the virtues of this sutra and all that is practiced by innumerable boundless Buddhas.
Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, what is this sutra to be called? How should Bodhisattva Mahasattva's uphold this sutra? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, the name of the sutra is to be Mahaparinivana. The foremost word betokens good, the middle also good, and the final good too. The signification is extremely deep, and what is written is good. The pureness of its arrangement is perfect. Its action is pure, and its adamantine treasure house is all satisfying. Listen well, listen well. I shall now speak. O good man, the word Maha betokens eternal. This is like all the great rivers draining into the great ocean. The same with this sutra. It crushes out all the bonds of illusion and all the qualities of Mara. And then body and life drain into Mahaparinirvana. Hence we say Mahaparinirvana. O good man, this is like a doctor who has a secret treatment embracing all medical treatments for disease. O good man, it is the same with the Tathagata. All the various wonderful doctrines taught and all the secret depths of meaning find their way into this Mahaparinirvana. That is why we say Mahaparinirvana. O good man, it is like a farmer who sows seed in spring. He entertains a rare wish. When he has finished the harvesting, all his longing is at an end. O good man, the same is the case with all beings. If we study other sutras, we always long for beautiful tastes. When one once hears this Mahaparinirvana, one long ceases to covet the beautiful taste mentioned in other sutras. This great nirvana well enables all beings to cross the sea of all existences. O good man, of all footprints, that of the elephant is the best. The same with this sutra. Of all the samadhis of the sutras, that of this sutra is the best. O good man, of all the tillings of the field, that done in autumn is the best. The same with this sutra. It is the best of all sutras. It is like Sarpirmanda, which is the best of all medicines. It thoroughly cures the feverish worries and maddening minds of beings. This great nirvana is the foremost of all. O good man, it is like sweet butter which contains the 8 tastes. The same also applies to the sutra. It contains the 8 tastes. What are the 8? These are 1, it is eternal. 2, it always is. 3, it is peaceful. 4, it is pure and cool. 5, it does not grow old. 6, it does not die. 7, it is taintless. And 8, it is pleasing and happy. These are the 8 tastes. It possesses these 8 tastes. That is why we say Mahaparinirvana. Now all Bodhisattva Mahasattvas peacefully abide in this and manifest nirvana in all places. That is why we say Mahaparinirvana. O Kasyapa, all good men and women who desire to enter nirvana by this Mahaparinirvana must study well the fact that the Tathagata is eternal and that the Dharma and Sangha are eternal.
Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, "All is wonderful, O world-honored one. We cannot conceive of the Tathagata's depths of virtue. The same is the case with the virtues of Dharma and Sangha. This Mahaparinirvana is also inconceivable. One who studies this sutra will gain the right eye of Dharma and become a good doctor. Anybody who has not studied the sutra, we should know, is a blind person, not possessing the eye of wisdom and overshadowed by ignorance."
The Buddha again spoke to Kasyapa, O good man, there are 4 aspects about which a Bodhisattva Mahasattva discriminates and expounds Mahaparinirvana. What are these 4? They are 1. Rightness in one's own self. 2. Correcting others. 3. Complying well and discussing. And 4. Understanding well causal relations.
O Kasyapa, what is righteous in one's own self. This is as when the Buddha Tathagata expounds Dharma, seeing well the causal relation. This is like a bhikkhu seeing a great fire. He says, I would sooner throw myself into this ball of burning fire than ever say that all the 12 types of sutras and the undisclosed teachings are from Mara. If one says that the Tathagata, Dharma, and Sangha are non-eternal, this is cheating one's own self and also others. I would sooner cut out my tongue with a sharp sword than ever say that the Tathagata, Dharma, and Sangha are non-eternal. I might indeed hear others saying this, but I will never believe it. I shall even pity a person who says this as such. The Tathagata, Dharma, and Sangha are inconceivable. One should uphold one's own self well like this. One looks to one's own self as if seeing a fireball. This is how one sees rightness in one's own self. This is what we're talking about with experience. You know, if you have the experience, if you've experienced Supreme Bodhi, it's easy to uphold your own, because you know that it isn't non-eternal, and so you can defend it. But if you don't know because you haven't experienced it, then you can fall into out of your own rightness. I can't remember exactly what can you scroll up a little bit? Yeah, his own rightness in one's own self. Yeah. So it's about experience, and it's about having that quality of experience by following the procedure. And also, once you have that experience, not having any doubt that experience, is, when you come across people who are contradictory to that experience, you don't have any doubt, so you can come to it with that rightness in one's own self. Sorry, that is all.
Yes, take it.
Because it's the only way that it works. Because, Supreme Bodhi, there is nothing.
Yeah.
So as soon as you think that there is something, then it's not it. And it's nothing not because that's the objective. It's nothing because that's the cure. That's a cure for the malady of whatever comes from thinking.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
thanks.
I mean, and you know that because you have the experience, and so, like, applying it to that paragraph where sticking to the rightness of your own self is because you know that the Tathagata, the Sangha, the Dharma are non-eternal, and therefore you can stand on that because you have the experience of what that is and what it means. Because if it were fleeting, then that wouldn't be the experience.
Are you saying they're non-eternal? I mean, you said they're non-eternal, but then they're saying if they're fleeting, it sounds like you're one or the other.
Scroll up, Robert. I'm referring to the previous paragraph.
Because non-eternal, because as soon as you say it is something, it becomes non-eternal. So in the context of saying that it is something, you haven't thought about it.
No, right. And this is talking about in terms of communicating with other people. So I know what you're talking about. But it's kind of like standing up for, like, if you like what I got out of this paragraph, and maybe this is why I want to talk about it, because it's, I can see the relating to it. It's if somebody says something that is a matter of fact not true, you can uh, see rightness in one's own self by knowing that your experience of supreme Bodhi doesn't align with what that person might be saying, and sticking by that instead of falling and not seeing your own, what is correct. Am
Well,
I making sense?
yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that you don't teach. So it means that you teach, but you teach with ambiguity. You don't teach with bias. There's no bias because there's no expectation. Because there, as soon as you have expectation, you have clinging and you have thought. But if you're in Supreme Bodhi and you teach it, just teach it, then there's no expectation, there's no bias, no biases. So I mean, that's the effort. And it's easy to say, but it's really hard to do, because all these thoughts arise that you think that they should listen to you and they should understand you, and why are they still, saying the wrong thing and doing the wrong thing, and I know I'm right. And see, all of that inner conversation is not Supreme Bodhi. And so
No.
the tactfulness of Supreme Bodhi is to be able to extinguish the thinking that it should be this or that, but still teach it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I think
That's
that you're
fine.
taking it to the next level.
Yeah, but I'm giving it a good overview so people understand the context. Because without context, this can be very esoteric.
I see.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm done. Thanks.
All right. Okay, cool. Thank you.
O Kasyapa, how does one correct others? When I was once talking about Dharma, there was a woman nursing a child with milk. She came up to where the Buddha was. She touched my feet with her head and paid homage to me. As she was worried, she was absorbed in herself and took her seat on one side. Fathoming her mind, I especially said to her, out of love for your child, you have given the child too much cream. You did not weigh up the digestion and indigestion. At that, the woman said to me, how wonderful that the world-honored one thus reads my mind. Please, O world-honored one, teach me how to give. O world-honored one, I gave too much cream this morning. Possibly it cannot digest it well. Will this not take the child's life? O Tathagata, please explain things to me, I said. What you gave will be digested by and then will enhance life. The woman, on hearing this, was very glad. She spoke again, saying, what the Tathagata speaks is true. So I am glad. The world-honored one, in order to teach all beings, makes distinctions and expounds digestion and indigestion, the non-self and the non-eternal of all existences. If the world-honored one were to talk first about the eternal, a person hearing this might say that what he says is the same as what the Tirthikas say, and discount what he says and go away. I then said to the woman, when the child grows up and becomes big, and when it can come and go by itself, whatever is eaten will be digested, even when indigestible. The cream that was taken before will not be enough to support. The same is the case with all my Sravaka disciples. It is as in the case of your child. They cannot digest this eternal Dharma. That is why I speak about suffering and impermanence. When all of my Shravakas are already perfect in virtue and can stand learning the Mahayana Sutras, I then in this sutra speak about the 6 tastes.
What? Oh, sorry, go ahead. Keiko, do you have your hand up?
No, it was old. I didn't take it down. I thought I did. There we go.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Thanks.
What are the 6 tastes? Suffering is the taste of vinegar. The non-eternal is that of salt. The non-self, that of bitterness. Bliss has the taste of sweetness. Self is of pungent taste, and the eternal is light in taste. In secular life, too, there are 3 tastes, which are 1. Non-eternal, 2. Non-self, and 3. Non-bliss. Illusion is the fuel, and wisdom is the fire. By this means, we gain the meal of nirvana. This is the eternal bliss and self. All of my disciples taste these as sweet. I also said to the woman, if you happen to go to other places, drive away bad boys from the house and give treasure to good boys. The woman said to me, indeed, as you instruct me, the rare treasures that I have will be shown to good sons and not to bad ones. Oh, sister, the case is the same with me. At the time of entering Parinirvana, the Tathagata's undisclosed and unsurpassed storehouse of Dharma will not be given to Shravaka disciples, just as you do not reveal your treasures to bad sons. It will by all means be entrusted to the bodhisattvas. This is like your revealing your treasures to good sons. Why is that? Because the Shravaka disciples abide in the thought of change and say that let's see in the page. Tathagata truly dies. But actually I do not. This is like your going to faraway places and not yet coming back home, at which your bad son says that you have died, whereas you have not died. All bodhisattvas say that the Tathagata never changes. This is similar to your good sons, who do not say that you are dead. Hence, I entrust the unsurpassed, undisclosed treasure to all bodhisattvas. O good man, if any person says that the Buddha is eternal and does not change, know that the Buddha is present in that house. This is correcting others.
O Kasyapa, what is complying well and discussing? For example, a person comes and puts a question to the Buddha, world honored one. How can I be a great Dhanapati not throwing my money away? The Buddha says, should there be any Shramana, Brahmin, or any person who seeks to possess little and is fully contented and will not accept or store any impure things, give such a person a maid or a servant. To one who practices pure actions, give him the lust of a female, and to one who does not drink or eat meat, give drink and meat. To one who does not take meals after noon, give him a meal after noon. To one who does not use flowers and incense, give flowers and incense. Such donations give rise to rumor, and the fame will fill the world. Not a penny is spent. This is complying well and discussing.
Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, to one who eats flesh, we should not give flesh. Why not? I see a great virtue arising out of abstention from eating flesh. The Buddha praised Kasyapa and said, well said, well said. You now come to knowing my mind well. A bodhisattva who protects Dharma should be thus. O good man, from now on I do not permit my Sravaka disciples to eat meat. When receiving from a Dhanapati a pristine dana of faith, think that one is eating the flesh of one's own son. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said further to the Buddha, O world-honored one, why is it that the Tathagata does not allow us to eat meat? O good man, one who eats meat kills the seed of great compassion. Yeah, so with that, thinking about the flesh of an animal as the flesh of your son, I mean, if you do that, it's kind of like even if it's accidentally on your plate, you wouldn't eat it, even if it's a gift, you know. And so I think that kind of speaks to if it's I know that there's a skillful way to go about accepting gifts from ignorant people, but if you are accepting gifts from people who aren't ignorant, right, then it's up to us to be teachers and guide those people and correct them, as the Buddha's talking about. Now, if it's like innocent ignorance, of course, also not accepting that gift would do harm because there isn't understanding. It's true ignorance in an innocent way. So I see this as like if you're practicing Buddhism and you accept gifts from a Sangha member that is meat, it's really part of, in my opinion, part of the Sangha jewel to, you know, correct that action in a skillful way. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Kasyapa said again, why did you first allow the bhikshus to eat 3 kinds of pure meat? O Kasyapa, these 3 kinds of pure meat were so instituted following the need of the occasion. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, O world-honored one, in what circumstances do you not allow the 10 impurities or the 9 knots, or the 9 kinds of what is pure? The Buddha said to Kasyapa, this also is permitted by gradual steps following the need of the occasion. This is what applies in the actual segregation from eating meat. Bodhisattva Kasyapa said further to the Buddha, why is it that the flesh of fish is praised and called beautiful? O good man, I do not say that the flesh of fish is a beautiful food. I say that sugar cane, non-glutinous rice, rock candy, black rock candy, all kinds of wheat, honey, milk, cream, and oil are beautiful foods. Various kinds of clothing material can be stocked, but what can be stocked is those whose color is faded. How could one greedily stick to the flesh of fish? Kasyapa said again to the Buddha, if the Tathagata means to prohibit the eating of meat, such things as the 5 kinds of flavors as milk, cream, fresh butter, clarified butter, and sarapirmanda, all kinds of clothing, silk clothing, horseshoe shell, hide and leather, bowls of gold and silver should not be received. O good man, do not muddle things up with what the Nirgranthas say. Each of the prohibitions which the Tathagata lays down has a different meaning. By this, 3 pure meats are permitted standing on different grounds, and the 10 kinds of meat are prohibited by different standpoints. By different standpoints, all are prohibited until a time of one's death. O Kasyapa, I, from now on, tell my disciples to refrain from eating any kind of meat. O Kasyapa, when one eats meat, this gives out the smell of meat while one is walking, standing, sitting, or reclining. People smell this and become fearful. This is as when one comes near a lion. One sees and smells the lion, and fear arises. O good man, when one eats garlic, the dirty smell is unbearable. Other people notice it. They smell the bad smell, they leave that person and go away. Even from far off, people hate to see such a person. They will not come near him. It is the same with one who eats meat. It is a similar situation with all who, on smelling the meat, become afraid and entertain the thought of death. All living things in the water, on land, and in the sky desert, such a person and run away. Such a person and run away. They say that this person is their enemy. Hence, the Bodhisattva does not eat meat. In order to save beings, he shows that he eats meat. Though he eat meat, in actual fact he does not. O good man, such a Bodhisattva does not even take pure food. How could he eat meat? 100 years after my death, all the holy sages of the four fruitions will enter nirvana. The age of wonderful dharma will be over, and there will appear the age of counterfeit dharma, when the bhikksu will keep the precepts as a matter of form, will recite a little of the sutras, will greedily take food and drink, and nourish his body. What he wears on his body will be ugly and coarse. He will look weird and show no dignity. He will feed cows and sheep and carry fuel and grass. His beard, nails, and hair will be long. He will don the castasya, but look like a hunter. He will narrow his eyes, walk slowly, and look like a cat who is after a rat. He will always mutter, I have attained arhatship. He will suffer from all kinds of diseases, lie, and sleep on dung. Outwardly he will look wise, but inside he will be greedy and jealous. He practices mute like a Brahmin. Truth to tell, he is no Sharamana, but only tries to appear as such. He is burning with perverted views, ever slandering wonderful dharma. One such as this transgresses against the precepts, right action, and deportment instituted by the Tathagata. He talks about the fruit of emancipation, but his actions depart from what is pure, and he violates dharma, which is profound and hidden. Each such person, following his own interpretation, will speak contrary to what the sutras and Vinaya rules state, saying the Tathagata allows all of us meat. They will talk thus and say that the Buddha has so spoken. They will dispute and say that they are Shramanas and successors to the Buddha's teaching. O good man, at that time, again, there will be Shramanas who store cereal, receive fish and meat, prepare meals themselves, and keep oil pots. They will be around bejeweled parasols, leather footgear, kings, ministers, and rich people. They will indulge in astrological practices and medical treatments. They will keep servants, gold, silver, beryl, musara, galva, agate, crystal, coral, amber, jade, horseshoe shell, and many kinds of melons. They will learn all arts, painting, plastering, bookmaking, and all kinds of science, all kinds of seed sowing, and planting of roots, placing of curses, charming, preparation of medicines, theatrical art, music, adorning of their body with fragrances and flowers, gambling, go game, and various kinds of handiwork. If any bhikksu rejects such evils, one can say that he is truly my disciple. Then Kasyapa said further to the Buddha, all world-honored one, the bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas may have to live depending on people. At the time of the alms round, one may be given food containing meat. How can one take it and yet be pure? The Buddha said, use water, wash away the meat, and then eat it. Just eat it. The utensil may be defiled by meat, but if no taste of meat remains, this may be used. There will be no harm done. If one sees that there is a lot of meat, one should not accept such a meal. One must never eat the meat itself. Yes, take it.
Do you understand that the reason that he's saying all these things has everything to do with the quiet mind and nothing to do with the objects?
Could you explain more?
The attributes ascribed to the people that profess that they know, like such as the jewels and pearls and all those things that he mentioned before the meat, this last paragraph began, um, are decoys, because the practice has nothing to do with accomplishments in life. It has to do with the quiet mind. So there's nothing that will show. There will be nothing that you can show for your practice, because the practice is nothing.
Right.
So the idea that he can, he or she can do all these amazing things, like sow seeds and, has all this wisdom, it is nothing to the practice. That's not a sign of the practice. That may very well be a sign of their success in the world, but as far as the practice is concerned, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant because it doesn't showcase the ability to quiet the mind.
Right.
So
And what?
yeah.
And then the meat thing, I was a little too slow to get my phone and put my hand up, and that's why I was late in commenting. But the meat thing is its own thing. I'm not venturing to mention about the meat thing. One thing I do know from being a teacher at Joint Base Lewis McChord for the 7 years, and in being integrated with the Theravadan tradition, I know the alms rounds that Theravadan tradition of Buddhism does every morning. They must accept whatever alms they're given from the people that support them, including meat. And it is better for them to consume the meat in that case than to cause the gift giver to feel bad about the gift they've given. So maybe it might be that, this gift giver gives meat because that may be all they have. And then the question of where the meat came from, too, another part of the Theravadan tradition believes that, or states that, if an animal dies of natural causes or is killed accidentally, then one should not waste the body, but one should, put it to good use. So to question where your food comes from when you're doing alms rounds is not the effort. And the effort is to have acceptance of that which you cannot control and allow it to sustain you, because it was a gift. And so yeah. So it's a little different than the Mahayana, because the Mahayana doesn't do the alms round. Well, maybe they do the alms rounds, but they're more subsistent. Anyway,
Self-sustaining.
that's another conversation for another venue. This is not the venue for that, but hope that helps. Thanks.
Thank you. One who eats it infringes the rule. I now set this rule of segregating oneself from eating meat. If we go into detail, there will be no end of explanations. It is now time that I enter nirvana, so I must dispense with explanations. This is answering well what is inquired about.
Okay, I think this is a good stopping point before we get into the next topic. So, if you could mark where we stopped, and then we can transition into the Dana Paramita. I used a little comment. Yeah, there we go.